back to evolution in 2 to 4 minutes.
Today we are searching for evidence of evolution down under among these Australian species.
Crikey! Look at that picture of kangaroos sent in by a viewer.
And look at that skeleton!
Kangaroos demonstrate biogeography. They only live in Australia. They haven't expanded as a species and can only be found in Australia. They have no way of getting across the ocean to go to other countries or continents.
Even though they haven't spread locationally, they now transport themselves by jumping on their hind legs. Over time, their legs have adapted to this method of transportation and have mutated to have elastic tendons in their hind legs. They also use their tail as a third leg to make jumping easier.
Alright, let's move on to another species. How about humans?
A great example of convergence.
And biodiversity.
You can find humans almost anywhere in the world. We come in different shapes, sizes, and colors.
Ancestors of humans go much farther back than almost any species. Our most common ancestor, or species with the least amount of differences in their DNA, are chimps.
There are many species that make up humans also. We wouldn't be walking on 2 feet if it weren't for the convergence and adaptations. A good way to look at the history of humans is to look at a cladogram and see how certain species reproduced and how they passed on genes or parts of DNA that get passed down from parents to offspring that determine the offspring's characteristics and traits.
Another way to demonstrate that evolution is real is to look deeper inside. Humans have many structures, like bones or organs, that look a lot like other species' structures. This is an example of homologous, analogous, and vestigial structures.
Homologous structures are body parts used for the same function but don't look the same. Analogous structures also means that the structures have a similar function but not the same structure. Lastly, vestigial structures are structures that no longer have a function.
Humans have a tailbone, which comes from other species earlier in the convergence of species. They may come from dinosaurs, for all we know, but we know that a tailbone was needed earlier when humans were not created.
Now, to move on, our last piece of evidence, fossils.
A fossil is a remain, impression, or trace of a living thing of a former geologic age, such as includes skeletons and footprints.
We have discovered many fossils that give us information on what was roaming the earth many years ago.
When people hear fossils, they usually first think of dinosaurs. Dinosaurs went extinct about 65 million years ago. Scientists have found bones and footprints that used to be along the dinosaurs.
A fossil is made when all the tissue that used to be there is replaced with minerals which preserve them.
Mary Schweitzer, a paleontologist that works with and studies the dinosaur bones, found something she'd never seen before in a T-Rex. She found out that dinosaurs actually had blood vessels, and she even found some red blood cells.
Lots of scientists around the world were shocked to hear this information and couldn't believe it. They didn't think it was possible for that kind of tissue to stay preserved for that long.
It's incredible that we can still learn from new information from fossils of extinct species from so long ago.
Extinction can happen in different ways. The dinosaurs went extinct from a giant asteroid landing on Earth. Now, birds and other species that live in forests are going extinct from some effects on human actions. We are ruining habitats and polluting the atmosphere, causing global warming. Global warming is also causing extinction. The climate change is affecting animals like polar bears in the Arctic.
Humans have a bigger effect on the planet and the other inhabitants on Earth than they thought.
Well, that's all the time we have for today. I'm Tara.
And I'm Cleo, and thank you for joining us on our evolution in 2 to 4 minutes.
See you later, mates.
Crikey.